just shortly after the pandemic, I feel that we've gotten a significant amount of impact.
Coming up on First at 5, tourism is on the rise in Alachua County. Tonight, we tell you how city leaders hope it will boost the economy.
I think it really should be up to the family and the parents to decide.
A vote in the Florida Senate today on a ban of social media for teenagers. Plus,
it's sunny now, but rain is on the way. We're tracking how this will affect the rest of your week coming up. Your WUFT News starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Tourists are flocking to North Central Florida in record numbers. This is First at 5. I'm Rafael de los Santos.
And I'm Charlize Ramos. City leaders say North Central Florida can be a first choice for visitors coming from outside the state. WUFT's Kennedy Chambers is live in the studio with what's helping the industry get back on track to return to pre-pandemic levels.
Visit Gainesville tells me that travel and tourism are essential for the health of the county's economy. In addition to being Florida's #1 industry, I'm told it is vital to growth. North Central Florida is where tourists come to find outdoor activities, natural wonders, and one-of-a-kind destinations. Following the COVID-19 pandemic, the area is seeing the number of tourists flourish again. Hotel manager Chris Taub says the number of guests in his hotel have been higher than ever.
We've seen tremendous growth here in our industry, especially here in the Gainesville market. We've seen an uptake of our bookings and our reservations by at least 20 to 30% since the pandemic.
Front desk supervisor Juliana McGuire thinks the medical and educational features that the area offers are some of the top reasons people visit.
A lot for the hospital, because that's one of the main things, or as far as UF, a lot of people come and stay for the games, or tours of UF.
City of Alachua's recreational director Damon Messina says the endless opportunities make Florida an ideal spot for visitors.
The sky's the limit here. We have a lot of opportunity and a lot of options, and it's multi-purpose, so we can get creative too.
City of Alachua's Public Information Officer Kyler Burke says the city is specifically focusing on the opportunity for sports and events to draw visitors.
All these sports teams coming together and all these different athletic associations and all of that being able to come here and use this really cool facility and just really enjoy the area has been great.
And they're hoping that great trend will continue to bloom, allowing the economy to boom. As North Central Florida welcomes back visitors with open arms, the region is ready to reclaim its status as a premier destination for travelers. Live in the studio, Kennedy Chambers, WUFT News.
Just into the WUFT newsroom, deputies in Marion County have arrested a pair of suspects they say killed a man while trying to rob him last summer. Michael Montgomery and Jessica Long are currently in the Marion County Jail. Investigators say last June they found the victim's body, 40-year-old Wayne Barlow, on the side of the road near Highway 326. They discovered he'd been shot in the head, beaten, and strangled. Detectives say with help from witnesses, they determined the pair were riding with Barlow, tried to rob him, and then killed him. The pair is being held with no bond.
The city of Gainesville sits polarized after officials took to the streets removing houseless neighbors and their belongings off the sidewalk. Residents have taken to social media to share their thoughts on a thread that has amassed more than 85 comments in less than 24 hours. Elizabeth Hawks supported the removal. She commented, "Unpopular opinion. Thank you for restoring access to the public sidewalks. Please do more to address chronic homelessness, addiction, and mental health care in this city." And against the move is Morgana Fina, who commented, "No one asked for this, and it's disgusting. This is disguised as a public safety measure. Real public safety means taking care of all your citizens."
A Florida Senate bill that will limit social media access to minors is being voted on today. WUFT's Alex Land found out how the bill will be implemented and how the community is responding.
If enacted, the Florida Senate bill would prohibit children under 16 from using social media. However, since these social media sites would need to verify user age through personal documents, users are concerned about their privacy.
95%. According to Pew Research Center, that's the percentage of teenagers who use social media. But maybe not for much longer. Bill proposers say they want to limit access to social media for minors to prevent mental health issues from developing.
In the beginning, I definitely thought it was awesome just because I could reach out to more people, but I know it definitely affected me and body image and stuff like that. So I think at that time I thought it was fine, but looking back, I probably shouldn't have had it that young.
University of Florida Professor Emeritus Clay Calvert is worried about the access to the personal information of users.
The companies have to use third-party providers, right, to verify the age of people. And so in order to verify age, you're typically going to have to require some forms of identification. And so that raises concerns about data collection and privacy.
Calvert says these social media sites may need to collect information as sensitive as social security numbers to verify age. The bill states that underage account owners may be subject to a fine. If approved, the bill will take effect in July.
Florida is not the only state looking to put regulations on minors using social media. New York City is currently suing several social media platforms due to their impact on the youth mental health crisis. Live in the studio, Alex Land, WUFT News.
Another part of social media law enforcement is tackling our dating apps. They make connecting with others more convenient, but the rise of artificial intelligence brings new dangers. Dating apps have always had a group of users called catfishers, a term used for people who lie about who they are to trick others.
Asking to meet you somewhere in a private place, wanting your address, asking for money, asking for photos. Those things should all be red flags.
Sergeant Forgy says ACSO has trained to deal with the increase in AI-related crimes. He also mentions the agency also only receives about one report every year from catfishing, but knows there are more cases.
The UF weather team says we've seen the last of near freezing and frosty nights for this week and are now heading towards a major warm-up. WFT's Derrah is tracking the warmer weather and how long the sunshine will stick around.
Yeah, Charlize, we are already warming up. We're actually a few degrees warmer than where we were this time yesterday. Now, temperatures are still running a few degrees below average despite that brief warm-up that we experienced from yesterday. We're at 68 degrees right now. Clear blue skies. You can see the tiniest hint of smoke out in the distance looking toward Marion County over in McIntosh. That's because we have some prescribed burns going on. So if you're in North Florida, north of Alachua County in Lake City or McClenley, then you can expect to see a little bit of smoke interrupting those clear blue skies that we have going on. High pressure and play. That's why we're seeing those clear skies. So that's keeping all of that moisture away and all of those clouds to the north. Now over the next couple of hours, we are going to continue cooling down. We'll talk about how cool it's going to get coming up.
And the city of Gainesville will continue to run its cold night shelter program tonight in anticipation of the chilly weather. Families in need of shelter can now head to St. Francis House. Meanwhile, individual adults can enjoy a warm place to stay at Grace Marketplace. The program will remain active until Wednesday as long as temperatures remain below 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Santa Fe College is teaming up with a local school district to expand their nursing program to the county's students. WFT's Natasha Holt is live from the college. Natasha, this expansion is all thanks to
a nursing program in Bradford County. Now, this program has yet to launch, but it was awarded the maximum amount it could be and is now a part of a group of 29 other programs in the state to get grant funding. Based at North Florida Technical College in Stark, the program will expand access to nursing school for students who may not otherwise have it. The Bradford County campus will allow students to earn their degree without making the trek to Santa Fe's Northwest campus in Gainesville. Pre-pandemic data predicted a huge shortfall of nurses within the next 10 years, which means the shortfall is now expected to be even more significant. That's propelled nursing programs across the country and state to look for more ways to expand. Santa Fe College's nursing programs director, Tracy Eisen, says this expansion will help fill this growing need in the area.
This was just ideal. This taps a group of students who may not be able to travel daily to Gainesville for the education that they need to be a registered nurse. They just don't have access.
The grant money will allow the college to upgrade spaces for classrooms, labs, and offices, purchase equipment, and fund more remote instruction. Now, this program has yet to launch, but it's expected to be in effect by 2026. Reporting live from Santa Fe College, Natasha Holt, WUFT News.
Police in Ocala are asking for your help to determine what caused a deadly crash that also badly injured a teenager last night. When fire crews got on scene, they found one car on fire. They also discovered 2 people had died. Police are asking for information about the two vehicles involved in the crash on Southeast 36th Avenue. If you saw the crash, have any information or surveillance footage, officials are asking you to call them at the number on the screen or at Crime Stoppers. Marion County first responders are getting a new home. The new Marion County Fire Rescue's EMS Central Station is an upgrade to the previous facility built in 1960. The 19,400 square foot structure will include sleeping quarters for 21 people. The facility will cost $8.4 million, and funding was allocated through the county's penny sales tax. Marion County Public Information Officer James Lucas says he believes this facility will hugely benefit the community.
Having this large facility in central Ocala enables us to help rapidly respond to other areas that it may have taken a lot longer to get to.
The project should be complete by October 2024. It will be the largest of 3 EMS hubs in the county. Coming up on WFT First at 5, how the Tom Petty Park is making changes for the better.
And speaking of change, how grocery prices are climbing in stores. First at 5 is back after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Grocery prices are rising and stores are trying to help you keep costs down.
WUFT's Kirsten Maselka spoke to your grocery stores to find out how they are helping you.
Rose again by 0.4% in January. Shoppers may think grocery stores are to blame for the high prices, but that's not always the case. I spoke with the president of a local supermarket chain, and he says they're doing everything they can to combat inflation. Hitchcock's Markets is a family-owned business with 10 grocery stores across North Florida. The store has seen wholesalers drastically change their business model since the pandemic. Hitchcock's president, Carlos Alvarez Jr., says wholesalers are more focused on margins than ever, ultimately hurting both the stores and the shoppers.
They might look at, hey, I can just sell less product at a more margin, and they're okay with that. But who that really hurts is the consumer.
However, the family-owned business is determined to support their community. A few months ago, they started the Price Fighter program in an effort to keep costs down for shoppers. Hitchcock's Markets says they are constantly negotiating with wholesalers so they can offer lower prices. According to Alvarez, the store's priority is being an affordable option for the community. If you're struggling with food insecurity, go to WUFT.org for a list of resources. Live in the studio, Kirsten Maselka, WUFT News.
The Florida Department of Transportation is looking for input from Marion County neighbors about widening parts of State Road 40. FDOT wants to widen the highway between County Road 314A and Southeast 183rd Avenue. FDOT says the project will enhance safety, increase the number of people who can use the road, and improve accommodations for vehicles. The public can share their opinions about the project next Tuesday at the Forest Community Center in Ocklawaha. The meeting starts at 5:30. The City of Gainesville is releasing more details about the proposed improvements to Tom Petty Park. The City of Gainesville city arborist and city's urban forestry staff have guided design decisions to make sure that the surrounding forest. The city wants to make sure that the heritage oak will remain a focal point of the park. The proposed changes include the removal of racquetball courts and the addition of 8 courts for the fastest growing sport in America, pickleball. There will also be a new pedestrian entrance from the Northeast 16th Avenue crosswalk and a rerouting of the accessibility trail.
Alachua County Public Schools are set to receive a $500,000 grant. ACPS leaders will make the official announcement tomorrow evening at Westwood Middle School. The announcement is part of Westwood's International Family Night ceremony. School leaders say the grant will support initiatives to build students' social and emotional skills.
We're dry for now, but that's not going to last for long. I'm tracking our next rain chances ahead of our next cold front on the other side of the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
High pressure is dominating across the southeast. That's why we're not seeing many clouds, because just if you look at the water vapor map, all of this orange, that's all of that dry air. So that's cutting off the chance for any moisture to begin to develop, and that's why we're not really seeing a whole lot of clouds in the sky this evening, especially with those winds out of the north and those clear skies. We're in for a cool evening tonight if you're headed out the door. We're in the upper 60s right now. Feels like 66 once you factor in those wind gusts at about 16 miles per hour. Now, not all of us are seeing clear skies. We do have some prescribed burns going on in Columbia and Suwannee counties, so you can see we're not tracking any rain, but this is the smoke that we're picking up on our radar this evening. Temperatures today got up to the mid-60s, upper 60s here in North Florida, 70s down farther south. That's a couple of degrees below average, but we'll make our way back toward average soon enough. Mostly clear and cool conditions tonight because of those calm winds and clear skies. That's the recipe for our temperatures to reach its maximum lows. So we'll see temperatures in the 30s yet again tonight, but then as high pressure continues to move overhead, that's going to shift our flow and pull on a bit more moisture. So there is the possibility tomorrow morning, as we'll be waking up to more moisture in the area, to see some fog develop. So you'll have a lower chance of visibility if you're farther south, but other than that, you should just factor in that to your morning commute. Leave a little bit early tomorrow. Overall, we'll be warming up nicely tomorrow with temperatures in the low 70s, so we're right back to where we should be for this time of year. And look at our lows. We're no longer in the 30s after tonight. We'll see lows in the upper 40s, and that's because with those winds from the south, that's going to increase the warmth that we're going to be feeling, as well as that cold front that's approaching. So Friday, you'll have the chance to see some rain. So these dry conditions are going to last up until about Friday afternoon. That's when that line of storms will move through. Some of these could turn severe, so we'll have to continue to fine tune that. A couple of scattered showers north of Lake City on the back end of that cold front, but after all of that clears out, we're in for a really, really nice weekend. Gorgeous skies, mostly cloud free with temperatures in the upper 60s on Saturday and Sunday as well. So we're in for a treat after all of this rain clears out on Friday. Then this time next week, temperatures warm back into the 80s.
Coming up in sports, a top 25 SEC basketball matchup goes down tonight with huge implications on the line. Will the Gators men's basketball team take that next step in becoming a solidified tournament team against Alabama? All that and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Happy Wednesday, I'm Daniel Haviv. Let's talk some sports. The 24th ranked Gators men's basketball team has one of their biggest games of the season tonight. They head on the road to face the 13th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. The Gators are coming off an impressive 88-82 win against Georgia from this past weekend. Florida has now won 7 of their last 8, and they sit at the 5th in the SEC, just one spot shy of a double bye in the conference tournament. Players like Riley Kugel and Alex Condon have stepped up off the bench to give this Gators offense much needed depth. Florida's defense will need to show up as Alabama guard Mark Sears leads the SEC in scoring. Gators head coach Todd Golden understands the magnitude of tonight's game.
You know, probably not the team you want to see if you're really trying to get better defensively the next week, but it'll definitely give us an opportunity to go out there and try a few different new things and just really take on that challenge of seeing, you know, if we can disrupt them on their home floor, which is going to be a challenge to do.
Tip-off is set for tonight at 7 p.m. in Tuscaloosa. Gators baseball came back home from Jacksonville early last night after run ruling UNF 10-0 to earn their first win of the season. Florida had a great bounce-back performance in 3 innings. Freshman pitcher Liam Peterson finished his college debut with 7 strikeouts and allowed only 1 hit. Jack Caglione picked up where he left off last season and hit his first home run of the year. Sophomore Cade Curlin scored 4 times and had 3 hits on the night. The Gators welcome in UNF tonight with first pitch set for 6:30 p.m. And staying on the diamond, Gators softball has a doubleheader tonight against no other than UNF. Florida welcomed in 6th-ranked Oklahoma State on Monday and got shut out 3-0. This brings Florida to an 8-2 record on the season with an opportunity to hit double-digit wins tonight. Game 1 is underway now, and the second is slated for 6:30. And in this first game of the doubleheader, Florida is currently up 5-0 in the top of the 4th inning. At the high school baseball level, the 2024 spring season is officially underway, and boy, is there a lot to be excited about. Last night, Oak Hall traveled the east side to open the season in what was a classic pitching duel. Zach Bargar and Jack Steen set the tone to start the season as they both had stellar outings. Speaking of Steen, he finished with a whopping 16 strikeouts and had 1 hit allowed through 6 shutout innings. He helped lead the Eagles to a 5-0 win in the season opener, and they'll go for another when they play Newberry in their home opener tomorrow night. Taking a look at a few other games from last night, PK Yonge defeated Interlochen 11-10 in a shootout thriller. Meanwhile, the Gainesville Hurricanes dominated Westport 12-3, and Chiefland defeated Denellen 1-0. Tonight, Holt will open up their season at home against St. John's Country Day. The Bobcats are hungry and looking for revenge after coming up short in the Elite 8 last season. First pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. at Bobcat Park. Florida men's and women's swim and dive are competing in the SEC Championships in Auburn throughout the week. Yesterday, the men's 200 medley relay team swam 1:21 seconds to set a new American record. The current team standings include both the men and women sitting at second place in the meet. And for today's events, the men and women will compete in the 500Y freestyle, 200Y IM, 50Y freestyle, and 200Y free relay. And one final note, Williston's boys basketball team has punched their ticket to the Final Four after dominating Trenton last night 95-37. They'll face Chipley next week for a chance at the state championship.
Well, I'm happy that our local sports are going to get the chance to play again this weekend.
That's right, Charlize. The baseball team sadly didn't get to play on Sunday due to that weather. Hopefully, Derrah, this weekend it's clearing up.
Yeah, thankfully, much different than last weekend. I mean, gorgeous conditions. Tomorrow, though, we're looking at temperatures back toward their seasonable highs, and the rest of this week, after we get through those high rain chances on Friday due to that approaching cold front, we're in for a gorgeous, nice stretch of weather over the next couple of days.
Thanks, Derrah. BBC World News is next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
Your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.